Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So let's make these buttons over here work. Now, since we already have a few records here, let's start with the edit button. So if I go ahead and click maybe this one, I'll click edit, and of course we get this error because the file could not be loaded because it does not exist. So let's go back to our view files. So this is where view files are, and I'm going to create a new file and save it as edit. So say edit.php and save. Now if you want, you can actually put .view.php so that you know which ones of these are view files, which ones are controllers. The same way we do with -controller, you can name them appropriately. That way it's easy to spot what's what. Now on this one, I want to add a div, and I want to just add some inputs here. Now what you can do is just go to Bootstrap website and get ready-made stuff here. So let's go ahead and instead of the examples, let's go to the docs. Oh, sorry, I don't actually have internet here. I disabled it for a second. Okay, either way, let me try and reload internet here. It will take a second. Okay, so while that is happening, we could just put an input here. Okay, so internet is back. Yay. Let me reload that. Okay, so let's go to form control or input group. Let's look there. There's layout as well for page layouts, but input group here is fine. We can use some of these inputs. I want this one that has a let's go to form control. Let's see. Okay, so we can use some of these. So this one or this text area. So I'm going to copy this, copy from there. So choose the one you want and paste. So I will do paste there like so. So there's a label here, and this one goes to first name. And let's change our ID over here and just say first_name. And placeholder first name. Okay, so that does it, but I want to imagine that in the edit we will load a row first of all. So let me do this. So there will be a value that we want that already exists. So we're going to use the old value because we're editing here. We need to see the old values. So the thing is first name like that, but then the default value in this case, we're going to assume row exists. So say row first name like that. And what else? I think that does it. So we have value and we need a name. So let's put name here. And that is first name, like that. Okay, then here let me add maybe h4 and say edit record like that. Okay, and I'm going to put a class margin on top and bottom. I'll put maybe 3 like that. Okay, so let's see how that looks if I refresh, and this is what we get now. Okay, so this is complaining again. Old value argument to default must be of type string. A no was given. Okay, which means it doesn't know that value, but we will not be having this error if we fix the top here. So let's fix that. There's something wrong here because this closes the door. So let's remove that one thing at a time. And yes, it doesn't know what row is. So what we're going to do is put an if statement over here and say if not empty row, like that. And then let's put and if, duplicate, and put else over here, full colon. And then within here we'll put a div. I'm going to put some classes, like for example this is an alert, and I'll say alert danger, and text center as well, and say no, say that record was not found, exclamation point. Okay, so in that case we get rid of this error when row does not exist. So we say that record was not found. Great. Now you're supposed to be able to go back, so let's put a back button here. So I'm going to put a button and say back, and in this situation back will represent the list view. So let me come back to list view here, and let me copy one of these URLs here. So I'm going to copy that and come back here and paste that A tag there. Let's move things down. Text center, maybe we should probably just put everything inside this alert box, but let's wait a second. So this is all good. We just need to remove all of this like so. And then we put a class here of button primary. Alrighty then. Great. So there it is. So back. So we try again, edit, we couldn't find it, back. Okay. Now what if we do find it? So I'm going to click edit again. And this time we want to make sure that row actually is a thing. So we'll go back to our plugin section here. There's this part where we go to the edit section. So just like we did here, this time I just want to get row is equal to, and then we'll say user, and let's do first like that, and then decide what we're looking for. It's the ID that we're looking for, and on ID here, what I want to find is the ID is right over here. This is item number 0123. So I should put the third item in there, but it may not exist. So just say ID is equal to the third item. Sorry, the third item. But if it does not exist, let's just put no, like that. Okay, you can put 0 as well. I think it should work just as well. And let's put ID like that. Okie dokie. Very good. Okay, so things are looking up. Now we will put user permissions here because we need to only allow people to edit if they have permission to do that. But in order for permissions to work, we need to have the users manager running, so or working. So let's fix that quickly, and then we can set some privileges. All right, so with this now we can see that if there's a record, it will show here. Let me come back there and let's refresh. Okay, so we have first name and there's a value there, which is great. So let's do that for the others. So I'm gonna go back to edit. Now this, let me put a class here of row, and then getter should be 3. That's a space between items. So let me do this. Let me move this over like so. Okay, so now that we've made this into a row, we can actually say column MD6. That way it takes up half the space available. So let me duplicate this and change it to last name. So every reference to first here should be changed to last. Yes, let's do last. Type should be text, not email. Let's put text here, and let's put text there. and let's change that to last. Okay, so the column MD6 means on a medium-sized window it should change, it should disable this 6 here, so which means it will go into full mode. Let's change that to last, like so. So let's see how that looks. So if I refresh, you see it says first name and last name here. But if I go in responsive view like this, what's happening here? I do not know what's happening. Okay, things just disappear at some point, which is not cool. So we should fix that as well. Boom, 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 boom. That's weird. Okay, so we will fix that issue, not to worry. So there it is. Yeah, I think it goes a little too far here. Alright, so we'll look into that, but let's leave it like this for now. So then we have gender, and what else do we have? If I try to go back, if I click here, we have our image, we have gender. That's actually it. And the password, I guess. Okay, so let me duplicate this. Let's do password. We'll type password. So we'll say password and say I want to put a small message here. Oops. We'll say leave empty to keep old password. Okay, so there it is. Let me change all references to first name here to password, and same thing here. Let me change that to retype password. Okay, great. So the placeholders as well should change. Password, and that changes to retype password. Then of course here we'll put 1 for gender, and let me go back to Bootstrap website. I want to go to radios and let's see, forms, input group. Where are the drop downs? I'm looking for a drop down here. Select, that's where it is. So let's click on that select, and there it is. One of these, so I can just hit copy and come back and paste like so. So let's go back here, and we will say select gender. Let me remove that. Form select, let's give it a name, gender, and of course we have male and female. Let's remove this. So value, same thing, male or female. Then we should ask it to select the correct thing here. So I'm going to say old select. Close that. First of all, let's put the key, and then the value, and then the default value. Okay, so let me change this to female, and that should do the trick. So back here, and let's click edit again. Okay, so we have a password, we have this, it selects the right one. And then what about retype password? Why is it empty? Oh yeah, that's because there is none there is no value for a type password, so let's remove that. Okay, and now the password shouldn't have a value here, so I'm just gonna leave this empty. You shouldn't see the old password at all. Okay, all right, so it's as simple as this. What else? Let's put an image up here. So of course, design this as you would want it to look. If mine looks like trash, that's okay. This is just to show you what you can do. Let's do get image, close that. Here, what are we supposed to do? Yep, say row, and then image, like that. Okay. Let's put some styles here, maybe even like classes. Image thumbnail, and then a style. We'll say width 100%, and then say max width 200 pixels, max height 200 pixels, object fit cover. Okay, and I want this in the center, so what I'll do is here I'm going to put a class and say text center, like so, and save. Alrighty then, and so there it is. Now I don't like this thing being so huge, so what I'll do is I'm gonna say column MD6 and then MX auto to keep it in the center. So let's try that, and it's a little bit smaller now, which is great. And what I can do also is put a shadow so that we see where the edges of this are, and there it is. Okay, so edit record. Let's put more padding around and round it, maybe. Margin top 2. Okay, let's refresh, and there it is. So at least now we have somewhere to add the user information. So the old information is selected rightly so, which is great. We can use the same thing. Okay, so this is too long, I guess. It doesn't apply well. So maybe what I can do, since things are so small now, I can just leave this to go up to 12, like so. Okay, so retype password there. Or what can I do? Maybe that's too far a little bit. So what I would do is let's see here. I'll put those back as they were. I just maybe grab this from here and put it, let's see here, what do we do? Put this here maybe. So that they know what we're talking about. Okay, so I wanted them on both sides like this, but with a message there. Maybe we could make the message a little more visible by putting a class and say text danger, like that, so that it's in red. Okay, so leave password empty to keep, yeah, that's a repeat, to keep the old one. Okay, so you can put the messages that ring true to your end. Alrighty then, now we need two buttons here, save and back. So let's put a div. Now usually, instead of instead of putting shadow here, maybe what I should have done is put card. Let's see how that changes things. Yeah, I do like the view, the appearance of a card, but it messes up with the row here, so unfortunately card does have some advantages, but unfortunately I can't take advantage of those now. Okay, if we go back to list, we can get these buttons here. Let me grab one of these, copy and paste. So this one is back. Let me remove all of this up to here, and then we can grab the button itself. Okay, and put save. So save will be, let's try save. Back should be chevron left. Let's see how that looks. Okay, so good. Back, save. Save, let's put that in red. And then, and then let's tell it to float to the other side. Now, instead of floating to the other side, what I could do is put a class display flex and then justify content between, so it puts the space in between these guys. Okay, so we have save and back. These do not need to be small buttons, so I can remove the buttons small here to maintain them as large buttons. Alrighty then, too much gap at the top here, so let me remove, no, margin top is fine. What else? Okay, so it's this one over here. Yeah, that didn't change much. Let me remove this. Okay. Alright, so that does it for the design. We'll continue in the next video.